Good morning, late Boy Scout here. We're going to try out the Kahr CM9 today against the Beretta Nano. This is a gun I've been pretty interested in. It looks like a great concealed carry 9mm, slimline, single stack 9mm. I want to get used to that trigger a little bit, see how it points, see how it shoots, see how it feels in hand, see how it carries a little bit, give you some ideas of how this compares to the Kahr CM9, which has been my daily carry. Let's go ahead and try this out. There it is. So off the bat, I'm definitely not used to the trigger. I'm going to spend some time with this and see if I can get used to it. Didn't take too long. Feels good. It's I think it's a double action trigger, but it's a little more stagey than what I'm used to on the Kahr. And the reset is really similar. I'm going to show that to you up close. The reset on that comes about that far forward right there. And then again, it's kind of a somewhat stagey feeling trigger before that actually fires. So not as smooth as the Kahr, but still not bad at all, and certainly something that you could get used to. We'll take some shots now with the Kahr and have some more thoughts about it. So some differences that I can tell you about right now, having only shot a little bit of the from the Beretta Nano. Some differences it has against the Kahr. It's mainly the trigger. In hand, I'm not noticing a big difference, mainly because I guess I'm not focused on that as I'm shooting. I'm paying attention to my trigger squeeze, keeping a good solid grip on the gun, so I guess I'm not too thoughtful of how the grip feels, more concerned about how good of a grip I have on it. But that trigger squeeze is definitely something I'm paying attention to as I'm firing. And with the Kahr, it's a much smoother pull. I'm not sure how to describe it except for that. The reset is probably pretty similar to that Nano. Something about that Kahr is just feels nice and smooth. It's not light at all, but I think because it's so smooth, it really kind of compensates for whatever weight and whatever travel you have to deal with in pulling that trigger. We'll load them both up and take a few more shots. So one thing I wanted to show you about the magazines that come with the two guns, the ones that are the flush fitting mags, here's the Kahr right here. They look similar except for the fact that the base plate on that Beretta Nano is actually pretty wide, and that manages to, if you have the Nano here, which is unloaded, that base plate covers that entire base right there, so you've got sort of this flush closure right there. Now you don't have that with the Kahr, which is here in my pocket. What you get instead is a magazine that sort of just kind of hangs out at the bottom, you know, hangs out of the bottom a little bit. So I guess pick whichever one you would prefer to have. Personally, I think I kind of like the fact that in pocket, these magazines fill up a little less space than those of the Nano. And perhaps that's something that you could replace on the Nano to have a more of a flat-fitting magazine, if that's really important to you. Another thing is that in the spare magazines that I have, this is a spare for the Kahr, and this is a spare for the Nano. The Nano, you can see, is a huge difference in that base plate, and that whole, really a finger extension for the magazine. This is sort of a finger extension that comes on this version of the 7-round magazine for the Kahr CM9. But if you look at how that fits into the base, it really gives you a little bit in the front, but not much on the sides, definitely nothing in the back. Whereas the Nano, the extended magazine for that, really does give you an extra hold on the gun. So once you've got that reloaded and you've got it in hand, it's going to feel a little better as far as how you grip it. But that, I don't know, depending on who you are, how you dress, I wonder if that extended base plate, that big sort of extended grasping area, is going to be a deal breaker for you in pocket. Don't really know. That's for you to decide. Okay, so we're working with the Beretta Nano and the Kahr CM9 again this morning. And we're going to try out something a little different this time. We're going to do some sort of reactive drills. My coach behind the camera is going to call out what targets to shoot at. I'm going to take a couple of shots, go into low ready, and wait for his next command. We're going to do that with both guns and see if I get any surprises trying out these two concealed carryable defensive handguns. Beretta Nanos first. Ready when you are.
Right, left. Center, left. Center, right. Black, white. Left, right. White, black. Center, left.
And we're out. So definitely as I'm shooting this gun under pressure, I'm missing a lot more, and I think that has to do with not being as familiar with the trigger. If I spent more time with it and really understood the gun a little more, like anybody is supposed to do when you're going to carry a gun, I probably would have been hitting a little more consistently there. And we'll see if that turns out to be the case with the Kahr CM9, which we're going to do the same drill with now.
Center, right. White, black. Right, left. Center, right. Left, right. Left, center. Black, white.
And I did dip my muzzle down a little bit there. That meant I was jerking the trigger, which I sometimes do as I'm trying to shoot under pressure like that. I think what I discovered there, the only thing I discovered there, was not any downsides to the Beretta Nano, which I think is a fine concealed carry handgun. All I learned there was really that I'm still a little unfamiliar with it. But as a concealed carry handgun, I think it's going to be a great choice. You've got a nice grip on there, pretty decent trigger, you know, a good reset on there that's going to help you get back on target pretty quick. You've got standard sights that are going to be very easy to shoot with, pretty familiar. Came with 2 magazines, didn't it?
Right.
Yeah. 2 magazines, you're pretty squared away with this gun right out of the box, which is, you know, great news. Not a lot bad I can say about it. Beretta Nano versus Kahr CM9, I think they're both pretty much winners right now. I'm the Late Boy Scout. Thanks for watching.